shalt thou serve thine enemy.
Now this is a curse that came upon us. For breaking God's commandments, he said we were going to do what?
Therefore shalt thou serve thine enemy.
Now you're asking about the white man. How did he get that power over us? God said that we were going to serve our enemies because we didn't want to serve him.
Right.
That's how we gave him that power.
Right.
From our disobedience, we empowered the so-called white man.
Right.
We empowered the Chinese, the Arab. That's why they set up their businesses in our communities, and we can't do nothing about it. They profit their money, they get their money, and raise up their communities. Right. And leave us living in the slums. Right. But breaking God's commandments is the reason why. Right. Coming back to God's commandments is going to change all that stuff right back in the order that God said it. Now give me verse 32. So now you understand. Keeping God's commandments, we'll be blessed. Right. That's, we'll be ruling over all nations. We break God's commandments, we put everybody above us. That's how it works. Nope. Now read that.
Verse 32.
Because you said you don't think that all black people have gone through this or should have gone through this. I'm going to show you why. Read that.
Thy sons and thy daughters shall be given unto another people.
What does that sound like? If somebody take your sons and daughters from you. What happened to us in slavery? These 3,000 bucks. Our sons and daughters were sold to another people. Right. Read on.
Thy sons and thy daughters shall be given unto another people, and thine eyes shall look and fail with longing for them all the day long.
So all we can do is cry. Like right now, what is it called? When they come and take your kids, child services. Now if they feel like you're unfit to raise your kids, they can take them and you can't do nothing about it.
Right.
Even to this day. That's why we still in slavery. Because we still in sin. Right. You understand? We don't.
And there shall be no might in thine hand.
Because we don't have no power to get our kids back. When we were sold in slavery, it was nothing that our people could do. We had to just watch and cry. You understand? Because we broke God's commandments. He took that power away from us. You understand? So, 803. I'm going to show you because, like I said, God isn't dealing with all nations. He's only dealing with his people. Like if your kids disobey you in any way, you're gonna chasten them. But you have certain ways that you punish them. You know what I'm saying?
Take away this stuff.
Right. That's a form of punishment. And God is doing the same thing to us because He loves us. So if you love your kids and they disobey you, you're gonna punish them. So I see that you got one behind your ear too.
Yeah, I do.
So what are y'all gonna do about it? What are y'all gonna do about it if you love God?
It's a process.
It's a process?
It's a process. I'm seeking God, so that's a good thing.
Give me first, Psalms 119.
I ain't showing hard drugs.
I'm going to show you something. I'm going to show you because we don't know when the Lord is going to destroy us. Right. If we walking in sin, we are a target. Right. We are against God if we in sin.
You know, my mama pastor told me, she said that you gave up everything else but weed. You got to give up weed too. Right. It's a struggle.
No way you can serve it's God. A struggle for our people, but if you in sin, you are an enemy of God. Right. I'm going to show you that God don't love us when we in sin. I'm going to prove that. Read that. 59.
The book of Psalms, chapter 119, verse 59. I thought on my ways.
So knowing that you're Israelite, you got to think like an Israelite. You got to think on your ways. Go ahead.
And turn my feet unto thy testimony.
Which is the Bible. You know that you're Israel, you got to turn your feet to God's law. Then you got to run to it. You got to start studying. Go ahead.
I made haste and delayed not to.
They say I made haste. When you do something in haste, what are you doing?
You doing something in haste?
Yeah.
I mean,
haste. Meaning you move it.
Oh, fast.
Fast, right? So when you think on your ways, you have to move. You got to make haste to turn to God's testimony. Read on.
I made haste and delayed not to keep thy commandments.
So when you hear thou shalt not kill, you can't smoke, you can't defile your temple, you got to make haste to change. You understand? Give me Proverbs 8 and 17. I'm going to show you that because God is the God of Israel. But the reason why we're going through these things that we're going through is because we broke God's commandments. Smoking is breaking God's commandments.
Right. So he's saying they went through slavery just because I don't think all the black people deserve to go through all that. I don't see all this.
I'm going to show you. Read that.
I don't think every black child, every black man, every black woman that went through slavery, all that abuse, all that turmoil, like they wasn't bad people.
I'm going to show you. Because our definition of bad is different from what God calls.
Yeah,
because we
no knowledge of God, how could they know who God was?
We knew. And now we know it now. We re-know it. So now that we're re-teaching our people, we got to do better now. You know what I'm saying? Read that.
The book of Proverbs, chapter 8 and verse 17.
Bring it out.
I love them that love me.
This is God speaking. This is conditional. God doesn't love us unconditionally. It comes with condition. Say, I love them.
I love them that love me.
So if you don't love God, God don't love you.
Right.
And we read, how do we love God? How do we love God here?
I don't want to like how God be allowed certain stuff to happen in my life.
Right.
You know?
Right. You know what I'm saying? Because we're not loving God the way that He said to love Him. So bad things are going to happen to us when we break God's commandments.
Right.
Give me that Deuteronomy 28. I'm going to show you that this happened because we disobeyed God.
Right.
And God is spanking us just like you might be a father. I don't know. Do you have kids?
So I do 10 of them.
So
how do a white man get that authority?
I'm going to show you. Because
Authority from like that God's authority.
I'm going to show you. That's a good answer. That's a good question I mean. Read on. 15, yeah.
Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 15.
Bring it out.
But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God.
Now this is Moses speaking to the 12 tribes of Israel, the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. We was in the wilderness. He just took us out of bondage from the Egyptians. You understand? You remember that history? Let my people go. Now he's telling us what conditions that we got to live, that we got to abide by. Well, God is going to punish us. Read that again.
But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe to do all his commandments.
So we didn't listen and observe God's commandments. Go ahead.
And his statutes, which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee.
Now, is a curse a good thing or a bad thing? Give me verse 45. I'm going to show you.
48.
Verse 48.
The curse sounds bad. It's a curse.
Verse 48. Therefore shalt thou serve thine enemy.
Now, this is a curse that came upon us. For breaking God's commandments, He said we were going to do what?
Therefore shalt thou serve thine enemy.
Now, you're asking about the white man. How did he get that power over us? God said that we were going to serve our enemy because we didn't want to serve Him.
Right.
That's how we gave Him that power.
Right.
From our disobedience, we empowered the so-called white man.
Right.
We empowered the Chinese, the Arab. That's why they set up their businesses in our communities, and we can't do nothing about it. They profit their money, they get their money, and raise up their communities.
Right.
And leave us living in the slums. Right. But breaking God's commandments is the reason why.
That's
Coming
right.
back to God's commandments is going to change all that stuff right back in the order that God said it.
Now ask him, is that a good thing or a bad thing?
Is that a good thing or a bad thing? But that curse, though. So curses are a bad thing, right?
Right.
So keeping God's commandments is going to give us blessings. What day do they tell us to worship God? Well, they tell us Christmas. Sundays. Give me Saturday. I'm going to show you what the Bible says. Everything that they teach us is contrary to what God told us.
Right.
Because as long as they keep us in sin, we're going to be under them. We read that, right? If we keep God's commandments, we're going to be better than everybody.
Right.
So they're not going to teach you to be better than them, right? Because they want us to be over us.
Right.
To keep us in sin. All the sales are when? On Friday, Saturday, because you're not supposed to be buying and selling on the Sabbath day.
Right. Beginning of the month when rent due.
Right. But you get paid at the end of the week. You know what I'm saying? As soon as you get your check, you try to spend it. But when? You're going to spend it on the Sabbath day.
Right.
Read that.
The book of Exodus chapter 20 and verse 8.
Bring it out.
Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy.
He said, remember the Sabbath because we forgot. We just remembering that we the Israelites. God has put the Spirit on us to reteach our people.
That's right.
To remember the Sabbath day. Go ahead.
6 days shalt thou labor and do all thy work.
Because the first day of the week is when? The first day of the week is it Monday? Is it Wednesday?
First day of the week is Monday. That's Sunday.
Sunday, right? Read that again.
6 days shalt thou labor and do all thy work.
So from Sunday to Friday, that's 6 days. Go ahead.
But the 7th day is the Sabbath of the Lord thy God.
Which is today, Saturday. That's the Sabbath. This is God's day of worship.
Right.
This is the time that we're supposed to be coming together for to worship God, not Sunday. That's why I say, hold that. Give me Daniel 7:25. I'm going to show you what the so-called white man did. This is why everything is out of order. Because they teaching us how to serve our God.
Right.
You understand? That don't make any sense. Read that. 7:25.
The book of Daniel, chapter 7 and verse 25. And he shall speak great words against the Most High.
Now this is talking about the so-called white man. This is a prophecy. This is during the time of Rome. They came up with Catholicism. The Catholic Church. The Catholic Church is what turned Sabbath from Saturday to Sunday. Read that again.
And he shall speak great words against the Most High.
How is he speaking great words against the Most High? He put up his images as the Most High. God is a black man. So he's speaking against everything that God said. Right, read on.
And shall wear out the saints of the Most High.
How did he wear us out? In slavery? Right. So now after he wore us out, he can reteach us. That's how, go ahead.
And think to change times and laws.
They say to think to change times because they have daylight saving. But they can't change the way the sun go down and come up. So they say he's thinking to change it. So now he say like the new moon is the dark moon. But the new moon is the full moon. And that's when we're supposed to come together. That's the Sabbath day according to the Bible. Right. So that's the Sabbath day. So it's just like Saturday. You can't buy and sell on the new moon. You understand? So God gave us high holy days that a so-called white man changed. That's it. That's the end of that.
And they shall be given into his hands until a time and times and the dividing of time.
When Christ come back. So we're going to be under this man until Christ come back. So once we get ourselves together and keep God's commandments, Christ is coming back to save our people.
That's right.
You understand? Now let me show you what Christ looked like, because I told you that he spoke against God by changing his image. Read that. Revelations.
I don't want to rush up. I got to get back to my kids. I'm gonna listen.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. This is the last one. Yes, sir.
I'm going to take time.
The book of Revelation, chapter 1 and verse 14. His head and his hair.
Start at verse 1.
Verse 1, the revelation of Jesus Christ.
So we're revealing what Jesus Christ looked like. Verse 14.
Verse 14, his head and his hairs were white like wool.
Now look at this sign. Now this is a depiction of Christ. It's not, we're not saying this is exactly what Christ looked like, but he's closer to the scriptures than what they give us.
I would think the Israelites was darker.
Right, right. Everybody, how could Moses be amongst the Egyptians if he wasn't a black man? A white man can't be mixing in with black people. You understand? Read that.
His head and his hairs were white like wool.
So he had white woolly hair. This man don't have white woolly hair. Black people have white texture, woolly textured hair. That's what they call nappy or kinky, right? Read on.
As white as snow, and his eyes were as a flame of fire.
Because he drank wine in moderation. Like when you drink a little alcohol, the whites of your eyes gonna turn red. Right. He drank wine. That was his first miracle. Right. He turned water into wine. Right. Go ahead.
And his feet like unto fine brass.
Like if I see in the top of your feet, it'll be the same color as the rest of your body, right? Right. Read on.
And his feet like unto fine brass.
So what color is brass?
Brass like gold.
Right, like a penny. It's a gold is brown.
Like a brown.
Right. Read on.
As if they burned in a furnace.
Now if you burn that penny, what color is it going to turn? Christ was a black man according to the Bible.
That's right.
So black he looked like he was burnt in a furnace.
What club was that at?
That was admit that a lot of people don't even realize they.
I've called her. She hasn't responded. I've called her more than a few times.
But the Zulu Nation, I'm like, what the hell is this? I know nobody know what I'm talking about. You'll leave me on the island by myself. I don't know what the hell Bishop's talking about. That's what y'all do. Then after class, yeah, I knew what you were talking about. I just don't want to be caught out there. The hell is this? Get on my damn nerves. So read that again, 31.
What is a nation? Nation is family. Nation is community. Nation is men leading by example. Nation is women's support. Nation is children with role models. Nation is unity. Nation is you. It's nation time. And finally, my brethren, be strong in the Lord.